In this problem, you ask to find all solutions to the equation y squared minus 36 is equal to 5y. Well, first of all, we have to recognize what type of equation is given to us. So, when you look at the highest power, which is in this case 2, that 2 tells you that it's a quadratic equation. Also, that 2 tells you that you're supposed to end up with 2 solutions. We're going to solve this quadratic equation by factoring. In order to do that, the first step is to set the equation equal to 0 and write it in the standard form. Let me remind you what that means. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus constant term c equal to 0. Now, if we want to match with the variables that were given to us in this problem, you can think about this standard form as a y to the second plus b y plus c equal to 0. Notice that basically everything is on one side equal to 0, but not only that, we need these three terms to be arranged in order starting with power 2. So let's try to do that in our problem now. To get 0, based on the 5y here, we're going to do opposite, minus 5y. Whatever you do on one side, you want to do on the other side of the equation. The 5y minus 5y is what gives me 0. And on the left side, we don't have any like terms, so it's just a matter of rewriting these three in the correct order. Y squared minus 5y minus 36. At this point, we're ready to factor. The way that you factor this kind of trinomial, notice that there is no common factor for this trinomial. So we open up two parentheses, and right away, based on the first letter squared, we write in each parenthesis y. Y times y will give you back the y squared. Whenever we have to factor, this kind of trinomial is often referred to as the product and sum factoring. So basically the way it works is that we need two numbers whose product is negative 36, and at the same time those two numbers when combined have to give me negative 5. So what two numbers when I multiply will give me negative 36, and when added or subtracted will give me negative 5. Well, first of all, notice here that in order to multiply two numbers and end up with something negative, I need to have a positive and a negative. The way also that you want to come up with the correct numbers is by starting off with a list of factors, always based on that last value here. Notice I'm writing 36 instead of negative 36 because we already made a note about the correct signs. That's why at this point we can just leave it as 36. So the possible factors of 36 are 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and also 6 times 6. Don't forget that each one of these pair of values, one is going to be positive, one is negative, right? And then when combined, I need to have the negative 5. Whenever you're combining two values with opposite signs, you actually have to subtract. So which one of these, when subtracted, will give me negative 5? The answer is 4 and 9. Now, is it this way, 4 minus 9, or maybe negative 4 and positive 9? When you take a look at the first one, 4 minus 9 is exactly negative 5. Negative 4 plus 9, on the other hand, gives us positive 5. So that's not the one that we need. The first one, negative 5, is matching with that middle coefficient. So let's plug it in. Positive 4 and negative 9. Now to finish up, we have to set each factor equal to 0. We end up with these two equations. So isolating the first one, isolating the y in this one, 0 minus 4 is equal to negative 4. And solving the second equation for y, we have to do the opposite at 9. y is equal to 0 plus 9, which is 9. All right, so the two answers, the two solutions are positive 9 and negative 4. And as you can see, that's choice D.